I know when I'm weak, you're all the strength that I need. You won't ever let me down. I can count on you like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Counting on you. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm counting on you for everything and more. And you're everything, everything I'm living for. Oh God, you're all I need and more. I know when I'm weak, you're all the strength that I need. You won't ever let me down. I can count on you like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Counting on you. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm counting on you for everything and more.
I was just a lost soul, wandering around, till you came into my life. Oh, everything could fall in, ashes to the ground, ashes to the ground. But you made everything alright. Oh, I'm brand new, and it's all because of you, Lord. All because of you, Lord. I'm brand new. I'm brand new, and it's all because of you, Lord. All because of you, Lord. I'm brand new because of you. I was feeling empty, looked up to the sky, praying while I cried. But you saved me right in time. Oh, now I'm walking like I'm on the clouds, float above the ground. Since you came into my life, oh, I'm brand new, and it's all because of you, Lord. All because of you, Lord. I'm brand new. I'm brand new, and it's all because of you, Lord. All because of you, Lord. I'm brand new because of you. 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 From the beginning, you knew how far away we'd run from you. But you're so forgiving. You planned a way to bring us back to you. There's nothing greater, no, than the love our Savior showed. We wanna spread your love, 'cause you gave your only Son for us. Spread your love to everyone. We wanna spread your love, 'cause Jesus, you came and died for us. Help us love like you love like you love. gave us the power to share your heart with everyone, like you do. There's nothing greater, no, than the love our Savior showed. We wanna spread your love, 'cause you gave your only Son for us. Spread your love to everyone. We wanna spread your love, 'cause Jesus, you came and died for us. Help us love like you love, love like you love. Thank you, Jesus, for all of your kindness. You have brought us out from the darkness and into the light of your love. Thank you, Jesus, for all of your kindness. You have brought us out from the darkness and into the light of your love. We wanna spread your love, 'cause you gave your only Son for us. Spread your love to everyone. We wanna spread your love, 'cause Jesus, you came and died for us. Help us love like you love, love like you love, love like you love.
It's gonna be a good day. Yeah. It's gonna be a good day. I thank God for another day. Give me strength and give me grace. Every step you are here with me. Oh, you are good, yeah, you are good, yeah. Whenever I am feeling stressed, remind me that I'm really blessed. I feel you in every breath, 'cause you are good, yeah, you are good, yeah. La 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 la. It's gonna be a good day. I'ma be alright. It's gonna be a good day. Started with a smile. Yeah, I'm gonna do the best that I can. And even when things don't go to plan, I know it's gonna be a good day. I'ma be alright. I know God will make it right. Oh Lord, be with my soul, wherever my 2 feet will go. I know that I'm never alone, 'cause you are with me, you are with me. Every morning and every night, I know you are by my side. In the dark, you are the light, and you are with me, you are with me. La 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 la. It's gonna be a good day. I'ma be alright. It's gonna be a good day. Started with a smile. Yeah, I'm gonna do the best that I can. And even when things don't go to plan, I know it's gonna be a good day. I'ma be alright. I know God will make it right. Whoa, yeah, God will make it right. Whoa, I know God will make it right.
All right, what is up, everybody?
Hello, friends.
Welcome to the
Build the
yeah.
event.
Build a 1-year complete. Build a complete
You got it, you got
1-year
it.
plan for
a lot
your
of
kids
words.
or youth ministry. Yeah. Yo, so glad you guys are here. We are Kenny and Elle Campbell.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us today. And yo, we want to know who you guys are.
Yes, please.
So if you could, in the chat, go ahead and tell us who you are. Where are you from? Which
please.
age group do you work with? We want to know. So please hit us up and introduce yourself so we know who we're hanging out with today. But
I
thank you
already
so much
yapped
for
over
being
there.
here.
I yapped, so now it's your turn to yap.
Elle,
Say
where are you
hi.
from?
Where am I from? I'm from Buffalo, New York, originally, as are you. That's the little buffalo hat. That's where I'm from.
Yeah, we were church leaders in Buffalo for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And we're excited to share with you today how to build a complete 1 year plan for your kids or for your youth ministry. So here, let's just dive right in
Let's
to
do
what
it.
we got. This is what we're going to share today. This is what you have in store. Get pumped up. We're excited
Mhm.
to hang out.
And this is we kind of like treat these like webinars almost like a workshop at a conference, you know? So that's the energy that we are bringing, and hopefully that this is a very helpful
Yes.
free workshop.
We love bringing practical tools and tips. And so this whole thing today is actually going to be walking you through how to actually build the plan. We're not just going to talk about it. We're going to show you how to build it. And here's some of the things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the changes that we made in our ministry that led to healthy growth. Some fun stories. I'm sure we all have some interesting and fun stories from our ministry experiences.
Oh yes.
And we will share some with
By
you.
the way, we have it seems like a brand new upcoming youth pastor, Isaac. Hey Isaac, congrats. Cornelia, Joseph. Hello. Hello friends.
Love
Thanks for
it.
hanging with us.
In North Carolina. We're also in North Carolina right now. We're outside of Charlotte in Cornelius. So we're talking about that. We're talking about 12 things that we mix into our lessons that keeps kids' attention. So I know that's like a hard thing these days, is
Okay.
keeping kids, teenagers' attention.
What is it, like a 2-minute attention
Oh, it's
span they
way
have?
less. It
Okay,
has
30
to be.
seconds.
It has to be way less than that. We're going to talk about the 4 spiritual habits that our entire discipleship strategy is based on. And we're actually going to be walking through different strategies for different parts of our ministry, putting them onto a calendar, kind of showing you how you can do that so you can be prepared and plan for the year.
A color-coded calendar.
Oh my gosh, we
I'm
love
obsessed with a color code.
color codes. Get ready for some colors.
Kenny, you were not, born a color code fan, but I think I've converted you.
Well,
I was.
I don't
It's
know
part of
if
my
you could
DNA.
say I wasn't a fan. Maybe I just wasn't good at
Yeah,
it.
you weren't
But
good
I
at
mean,
it.
I love a color code.
Okay,
I don't think
okay.
I was ever anti-color code.
Also, sorry for spelling discipleship wrong, guys.
That was probably me.
Oh,
Or
okay.
actually, maybe Elle did edit these slides, so I don't know.
Yeah.
And then we're also going to talk about how we get parents invested beyond drop off and pickup. A parent engagement strategy, so important. And then we're going to show you our birth through graduation strategy that your leadership will love.
We love
And
impressing the bosses.
yes, like this whole thing, obviously there's so much ministry stuff that we want to share with you, but also just from like a personal, like, you want to be good at your job side of things. This stuff is actually going to really help you with being a really great ministry leader. It's going to help you get prepared. It's going to help you be organized. It's going to help you show the people around you, your bosses, the volunteers in your ministry, the parents in your ministry, that you're organized with this color-coded calendar system. And hopefully your leadership will love this if you actually start to implement some of these things. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
What a fun day we're going to have.
And you might be wondering, what am I doing here? Why am I here? Is this even going to be for me? And so here's some things that might let you know that this is for you.
Yeah. So this might be for you, friends. If you've ever felt discouraged about your numbers, those attendance numbers that plague us and make us sad sometimes, we've been there. Maybe you have too. I think most churches and church leaders know what that feels like. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. If you've ever struggled to keep kids and teenagers engaged, either in your lessons or in your ministry as a whole, like just wanting them to, show up, we felt that as well. And then also been frustrated with your volunteers or the lack of volunteers. We too have experienced both of those frustrations. So maybe you have too.
And that's what we're going to say in this next slide.
And
we've been there. We felt this frustration. And when you're talking about attendance being down, we felt the pressure. And we've talked to church leaders that have felt this pressure as well. Like people who literally have told us, my pastor just told me I have to double the size of our youth ministry by the end of the summer, or I don't have a job in the fall.
Yeah, that's a sad time.
Like there is that kind of pressure that is out there. And I know the pressure of like those Monday morning staff meetings. I don't know if you guys have them, but when I was a youth pastor, Monday mornings.
The operations
Yes, it
meetings.
was like you
Ooh.
go to the meetings and everybody's looking at the numbers from the
Mhm.
past week, and we're like, okay,
Mhm.
was attendance up or down this week?
Yeah.
In each ministry, is attendance up or
Yeah.
down? Like, what's happening?
How many
So
quarters did your middle schoolers put in the offering bucket
yeah,
also?
right. Is the giving up or down, which is something that I'm sure your leadership is
Yes.
very keen to understand.
Mhm.
And so we know what it's like to feel that kind of pressure. We know what it's like when kids and teenagers aren't growing spiritually, and it
Mhm.
feels like we're doing everything we can. We're like, giving it our all.
Mhm.
And we come out of the week feeling like, is this even hitting?
Yeah.
Like, are the kids or the teenagers getting this? Is
Mhm.
it clocking to them what we're actually trying to say? And so we know what it's like when like you go through an entire week, you're so excited, you're ready to share what God's put on your heart,
Mhm.
and then you're questioning like, should I even be doing this? Am I
Mhm.
like good at this? Are the kids connecting with this? We know what that feels like as
Yes,
well.
we do. Also, Joseph in the chat is wondering if he can get like a handout or something. So we're gonna send you these slides afterward that will help. And you know what? If you email me specifically, my email is L-E-L-L-E at stuffyoucanuse.org. I'll give you a little PDF to help.
Love it. Yeah, we are going to be following up with emails and stuff. So
Mhm.
you're going to be getting this video replay. You're going to be getting this slide deck.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of really great content in these slides
Yeah.
as we go through. So hopefully that'll be helpful. And it could be something that you share with your leadership as well. If you're interested in implementing this kind of strategy we're going to talk
Mhm.
about, we will give you the tools to do that. So
Mhm.
yeah, email Elle or reply to the email and say, hey, Elle said she
Elle
would give me this
said,
thing,
I have a
and we'll
cute
make
little
sure
PDF I made once
that you
that I'll
get
give
it.
you.
Elle, tell us about these
Okay.
last two things.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Volunteers are not reliable. Guys, listen, we talked about this. Sometimes this is a pain because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but you don't pay volunteers anything. And so you're kind of just like hoping that they show up and like do their jobs. And you don't really have like a paycheck to hang over their heads. You have to find other ways of motivating them, which can be a challenge. And then also the pressure of parents not being engaged or parents being like outright in opposition to you. That's a real thing sometimes. And it's uncomfortable when that happens.
Yes. And so as far as volunteers go, there was one time in our ministry where, okay, so I was the middle school pastor at this
Mhm.
point, and we were at a large church. We had a lot of kids. We were supposed to have a lot of volunteers, but this
Mm.
morning we had 80 middle school
A
boys.
great turnout.
And yeah, a great turnout, very exciting, and only two adult leaders.
Not a great turnout.
Yeah, and so that was the point when we knew something had to change,
Mhm.
and we started actually building some of these strategies we're going to talk about today.
Mhm.
And you'll see we went from not having any volunteers, barely, or like not consistent volunteers, to eventually a wait list of people that wanted to volunteer in our ministry. And it wasn't because of us, but it was because of some of these strategies
Mhm.
and this organization and some of the things that we did to create an environment where people wanted to serve, and
Yeah.
especially like high capacity people, good
Mhm.
leaders wanted to serve and wanted to invite their friends to come serve with them. So we're going to talk about today like ways that you can create an environment for your kids or for your teenagers where they love to be at, where they love to come to church, and then also creating an environment where people love to serve and they
Mhm.
want to be there to serve, and they actually invite their friends to come serve. So that's the end goal, and obviously a place where parents trust that they're
Mhm.
dropping their kids off in an environment in a
They're
place
happy for their kids
where,
to be there too.
yeah, their kids will learn about God and they'll be taken care of
Mhm.
spiritually and like safety and
Emotionally, yeah.
physically and emotionally.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we know the pressure, and so does our team. Guys,
Aw, look
this
at all
is the
those
team that we get to
pumpkins.
work with. So
I
if
love
you
'em.
don't know, Elle and I are the founders of StuffYouCanUse.org, the founders of Grow Curriculum, which all of the content we're going to be talking about today is based out of the stuff that we're doing. We're not going to talk a lot of bit about our products as we go through this. We're going to talk more about the strategy, and that's the cool thing is you can take this strategy and run with it. You don't need to buy anything
Mhm.
from us. You can take the ideas and implement them in your ministry. But if you stick around to the very end, we are going to have a special offer for you and show you how you can get all of this stuff done for you. But
Mhm.
we won't talk any more about
Mm-mm.
that. We want to get to the good stuff.
Boring.
But just so you know, the stuff we're talking about today is not just coming out of our
No.
heads. It is something that we brainstormed with the people on our team, and literally hundreds and hundreds of kids ministry leaders, youth ministry leaders, senior leadership, worship pastors, like across the entire gambit. Like we have had so many people contribute to the things we're going to be talking about today. So just wanted to share these lovely faces with you
Aw,
and show you
love
what
them.
is going on. So what are we actually going to be doing today? We're going to be talking about a holistic strategy for your ministry.
Mhm.
Elle's talking a big game about how she loves color
I
codes.
do, and
So
here it
Elle,
is.
tell us about these little icons here, these colors, and what
Mhm.
they mean.
Yeah. So, when we think about some of these really big struggles, like, okay, I feel like, kids and teenagers aren't growing spiritually. I feel like they're not engaged. I feel like volunteers don't want to be here. I feel like parents don't trust me, all that stuff. If we were to sit down with you, if you were feeling those things and you were like, what do I do? How do I fix these things? What we would tell you is there's probably a temptation to try to figure out some quick fixes. Like, okay, I want more kids or teenagers to show up. So I don't know, I'll give away like an Xbox or like a Nintendo Switch or something. That might get some
Grand Theft
people.
Auto 6.
Okay, do
Do
not
not give that
recommend.
away.
But there's kind of like these quick fixes that we sometimes default to in ministry, and maybe they'll get people in the door. But if you don't have a healthy, holistic ministry, it doesn't matter how many people are going to walk in, they're going to wander away and walk out eventually, and you won't be able to retain them. That's kind of what was happening in our volunteer ministry, like we talked about, like not being able to retain volunteers. And so, for all of those issues that we've talked about, we just believe that the answer ultimately to all of these struggles that we've talked about is building a healthier ministry in every area. And what we've kind of come up with, along with like all of the people that Kenny was just talking about and all of the brainstorming that we've done, is that every ministry, you need to be thinking about your ministry in 7 different areas. So, the first 4 are the ones that directly impact kids and teenagers. So, those are red for teaching. That's a little Bible, if you can't tell. The next one, the orange one, it has a number 4 on it. That is our discipleship strategy. And the reason we have a number 4 there, and we'll unpack this in just a second, is because we believe there are 4 spiritual habits that help everybody grow in the relationship with Jesus, no matter how old, whether they are preschoolers or whether they are 85 years old. Those 4 spiritual habits are the core of everything that we do. The next one, the yellow one with a little party icon, that is your environments, because the actual environments you create need to have a strategy around them, from everything from like your room design and your graphics to like the kind of emotionally safe place that you're creating for kids and teenagers. And then the last one for kids and teenagers is that green one with a little ticket. That's your events strategy. So what does it look like to have special events throughout the year that actually make a difference and make an impact and don't just waste resources? Then you've got your volunteers. You need a whole volunteer strategy, and you need a family/parent strategy. That's the pink one. And then the last one is for you as a leader, because you do need a strategy for you as a ministry leader and the way that you lead your ministry. So that's like your annual planning and leadership in general. So if you think about your ministry in those 7 areas, you need a strategy in all 7 of them.
And you're already doing the leadership one by
Yes.
being here today, trying to improve what you're doing, try to better yourself as a ministry leader. We can't all make it to conferences every year, so going to stuff like this is actually really cool. So thank you for checking this out, whether you're here with us live, and if you are, you can ask questions in the comments at
Yes.
any time. We'll stop
I'm
and
looking.
answer them. And if you're watching the replay, thanks for joining us on that as well. And likewise, we'll send you whatever you need. Feel free to reach out. But so that sounds like a lot, and it actually isn't as hard as it sounds. We're going to break it down into little bite-sized pieces so that eventually it's going to get onto a full year calendar. I don't know if you can see this, but it's all of the months of the year. Maybe they're very small
Yeah,
text.
it's
You
like
probably
a
can't see
column
them.
for every month.
But so this is an entire year's worth, and you're going to see the colors that we just talked about. We've got orange discipleship at the very top, then red for teaching, yellow for environments, green for our events, blue for volunteers, pink for our families. And we're going to walk through what it looks like to plan out a holistic strategy for your entire year in each of these areas. And it's super fun. And so a lot of people have done this. We've worked with, like we said, thousands of churches, and we've been doing Grow since it's been 10 years.
Mhm.
So for over 10 years, literally thousands and thousands of churches, I want to say, well, I don't even want to guess, but over 10,000 churches
lot.
have used Grow and the Grow
Mhm.
strategy. And these are just some of them putting together
Aw,
their calendars.
look
Look
at
at these
their
people.
calendars.
This is something that is very practical, very
Mhm.
helpful. Imagine walking into your office if you want to build a physical calendar like these people are,
Mhm. I
and
love
then
the open
seeing
mouths.
it.
They're so
Yeah,
happy.
yeah, yeah. And here's some more. Like you can do this on anything. We actually have color-coded cards available on Amazon if you want to buy
Mhm.
them. Of course, you can just go to any craft shop or just go to your craft room at your church and cut
Yeah.
up some construction
We have free
paper.
printable ones too.
Yeah, yep.
And if you like notice, all of these boards look different, and that's kind of the point. Like we're here to teach you sort of like the basic like foundation of this strategy, but you can customize it, and we would encourage you to customize it to fit your ministry. So some people want to do more, some people want to do less, some people want to come up with their like additional color codes. Like, oh, we have a student leadership team, so we need like purple cards for that. Whatever that looks like for you, you can customize this. That's the point.
Yep. And so this is the cool thing. Like hang it up on your wall if
Mhm.
you have an office, or put it in an Excel sheet and
Yeah.
send it off to your pastor and be like, hey, this is what we're doing for the year, or to your volunteers. This is what the plan looks like for the year. And it actually is pretty impressive to
Mhm.
have a fun looking color coded
Yeah.
calendar on your wall.
It's nice.
Okay. So before we jump into our discipleship strategy, we're going to show you what this looks like on our website. So we actually have a planning tool on our website that you can build your own on. We're not going to spend a ton of time talking about that right now. We'll follow up with emails with links to this so you can
Yeah.
do this yourself. But if you do go to the Grow website, you can find your way over to the planning view and you can build out what an entire year looks
We
like.
love a drag and drop tool. It just makes
Yes.
it fun.
Yep. And that's the thing. This is totally customizable. You can take these cards, you can move them around, you can add your own cards,
Yep.
you can build out your entire year. And we're going to walk through that right now. So let's start with our discipleship strategy. Elle, tell us about what a discipleship strategy could look like for your kids or for your youth ministry.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, we all want to disciple kids and teenagers, but sometimes we kind of think of discipleship as more of like a byproduct of what we do rather than something we need to strategize, where it's like, oh, well, as long as I teach good sermons, they'll get discipled or whatever. But that's not really how discipleship works. So, just to kind of define it so we're all on the same page, we would say that discipleship it's a lifelong process. It's not something that you can be like, okay, by the time they graduate high school, I need them to be fully discipled. Not going to happen. That's okay. It's best done in community. So not like a little workbook that they do all on their own, not like one-on-one with a mentor, but in a community of their peers and trusted adults is the best place to get discipled. I think that's what Jesus demonstrated. It's less about gaining knowledge about Jesus, and this is really important, and it's more about following Jesus with our whole lives. So sometimes, especially in kids and youth ministry, we sometimes focus a little bit too much on education because we want them to like know the Bible stories. We want them to know what the Bible says. We want them to be able to memorize the books of the Bible. But if we are not taking that knowledge and helping them actually translate it into action and into application, then that's not discipleship. That's just education.
Yeah.
So we
And
want
we
to.
have a full teaching
We
strategy.
do.
So
We'll
the
get to.
teaching strategy is a part of this, but
Yes.
the discipleship strategy is so much more about the like application in your life and experiencing it. Sorry for cutting you
No, it's
off
okay.
there.
And this is the thing we recommend planning out first, because your discipleship strategy is the most important thing that you can do, even more than events, teaching, all that stuff. Like if you don't have a good framework for this, everything you do is not going to be as effective. So we want you to plan this one first. So when it comes to discipleship, how do you disciple? We believe there are 4 spiritual habits. Again, that's why it's a little 4 icon. And these habits, we believe that no matter how old you are, if you start practicing these habits, they will help you grow in your faith. So the first one is spend time with God. This is the one that sometimes people start and end with when it comes to spiritual habits. But this is prayer. It's reading the Bible. It's like learning how to worship on your own, talk to God regularly. It's your personal spiritual disciplines. Spend time with others is engaging in healthy community, both with believers like at church and also with people who don't believe like you, because that's important as well. The next one is use your gifts. You need to understand, like begin to learn how God has uniquely gifted you and wired you. And then you should actually use those gifts to to love God and love others by serving and by turning your faith into action. And then the last one is share your story. Sometimes we think about like evangelism as the only way you can share your story. And we sometimes communicate, maybe by accident, to kids or teenagers that you only are ready to share the good news of Jesus when you've got it all figured out, when you know, like you've been saved, you have a whole testimony. But we actually believe that it's really valuable, especially for kids and teenagers, to share their stories while they're still in progress, even when it's like messy and they have questions and they have doubts, because those conversations are going to bring greater clarity in a community. And they're also just going to help them verbalize what they think and what they are still wondering about. So
And it's
get them
part
talking.
of the Great Commission. We need to
Hmm.
be sharing our story. That is a part of the spiritual habits
Hmm.
we have to have. So
Yes.
we talked about this being ultra practical, right? We're not just going to say, hey, these are cool things to talk about, right? It
Go
needs to
do
be a
it.
lifelong process. Here's the 4 things. All right,
Hmm.
now figure out how to make this work in your ministry. No, we're going to show you what it looks like to put
Hmm.
these on a calendar, because we believe a strategy is not just the ideas, but it's the
Hmm.
implementation of those ideas.
Yes.
And so, what does this look like? So, you'll see we've broken our calendar into 4 quarters, basically
One
the
for each
4
habit.
seasons. Yes. So, we've got fall, and we believe that the spiritual habit of spending time with others makes the most sense to talk about and to actually practice in the fall, because that's when kids are going back to school. They're meeting new people. They're getting into classes. They're joining sports teams. It's kind of like this time where there's a lot of people that you're meeting and hanging out with. So spending
Mhm.
time with others, that's a great time to talk about that. So when you look at the calendar, I'm going to jump over here to our discipleship view of the planning board that we have here. You'll see the fall, we've got spend time with others, and these, like, this is one. So as you see, we've got these slides here. We've got one, what we call discipleship activity
Mhm.
per quarter, and we put it up on the calendar here. So Elle,
Yeah.
let's talk about what these discipleship
Hmm.
activities are. But before we do that, let me just
Yeah.
finish my thought
Go ahead.
of the fall makes the most sense for spend time with others. We talked about that. We think the winter makes the most sense for using your gifts, because you've got the holidays, you've got service projects, you've got all sorts of things that naturally open up. There's opportunities to serve and to use the gifts that you
Hmm.
have. So it's a great time to talk about your gifts and how to use them. In the spring, we talk about spending time with God, because that's kind of like the lull in the year, right? That's the time when your core kids are going to be there. There's no things like Christmas that are drawing people in. You've got your core kids spending time with God. It's a great time to talk to them
It's
about that.
also Easter and Lent.
Yep, exactly. Because then summer hits, and that's a great time to talk about sharing your story. Maybe there's mission trips that your kids are going on. Maybe
Hmm.
there's like things in your community where there's service projects or opportunities for kids to share what God's doing in their life over the summer,
Yeah.
like wherever they're whatever they're doing, whatever your
Hmm.
events are over the summer. So that's why we've picked each of these spiritual habits for the quarter of the
Hmm.
year that we have.
Yeah. And so the way that you can take these ideas and actually turn them into a strategy is what if we did this in our ministry and we loved it. Basically, the idea is that it's kind of twofold. First of all, you can think through your whole ministry calendar with these spiritual habits as the filter. So, for example, like we talked about, the fall is a great time to talk about spending time with others. So then maybe how could that discipleship focus impact what you teach? How could it impact which events you do? How could it impact the way that you train your volunteers and train parents? Like when you have some good synergy around like a key core idea, it just helps it stick because you're repeating it in a lot of different ways. But
And
then,
that's why it's at the
mhm,
top.
yes.
So we put it at the very top of our calendar here, because it's like the filter
Hmm.
through everything that we view. And so you'll see our teaching,
Yeah.
our events, our volunteer and our parent stuff. It all
Hmm.
filters through the eye of what we're doing
Yeah.
for discipleship.
And so that's kind of the first thing. And then, secondly, just choose one activity, kind of like one bonus experience that you would do on top of your regular programming for that quarter. We don't, with this whole strategy, we never want you to feel overwhelmed, like you have a zillion things to do. So that's why we're saying just pick one thing and do it for the whole quarter, or maybe just, a couple weeks out of the quarter. So in the fall, for example, we have these conversation cubes. What we did for this is we made these like really cute little dice, and like out of paper, you like fold unfold it, and they have different like conversation starters on them. And so in a small group or even like a family at home, if they wanted to, you like roll the dice and then you have to like answer the questions. And it's just meant to spark conversation. In the winter for Use Your Gifts, we did these community care kits. So it's like getting kids or teenagers together to actually build physical kits that will be distributed in your community as a way to practice generosity and care and compassion. Spend time with God. What you see here is the Trailblazer Journal. That was like a cute like devotional that we did for Lent leading up to Easter. So just kind of like a bonus devotional. And then for Share Your Story, we did the True Story Challenge. And this one was just kind of like an interactive challenge for the summer to get kids like learning how to tell their story and engaging in conversation, asking some of the adults in their lives to share their faith stories with them, and then verbalizing it with others. So it's just kind of like a practical next step that you can add on to whatever ministry you're already doing for that quarter.
Yep. And these are just ideas. You can
Mhm.
do anything. So you and your team can brainstorm these.
Yep.
If you happen to want to use Grow, we've already built these. You can use them in your ministry already. And so again, we'll just jump to the calendar real quick and you'll see we've got them basically laid out. So this is what you would do. You would take your calendar, your board, kind of put them in each quarter, and boom, there you go. Now you know what you're doing, which is to me like one of the best parts. I go
For the
into
whole
the
year.
year, I know what I'm doing for the entire year. I never have to stress about it. Maybe you've been there before where you're like, okay, what am I going to do next week? What am I
Mhm.
going to do next month? This week's over. Now I got to plan the next week and I'm starting from scratch.
Mhm.
No more of that, right? Like I want to plan everything up ahead of time so that I feel good the rest of the year. And not that it's going to be easy, but at least I know where I'm going and it can be a lot more fun than having to like brainstorm everything every time.
Yes.
So this is what we did for kids. And then of course, you got to think about teenagers if you're a youth
Mhm.
pastor, what you're doing. And so we have the same kind of things and we'll share some ideas for youth ministry and some of these other categories, but we'll keep it going. So the idea for discipleship, break it up into 4 quarters, one spiritual habit per quarter, come up with one activity for that quarter to
Mhm.
focus on, and then use those spiritual habits as like something to filter everything you're doing through your ministry.
Yep.
So cool. That's what our discipleship strategy looks like. Let's move on to our teaching strategy. So Elle, tell us, what are we thinking about when we're thinking
Yeah.
about a teaching strategy?
Well, maybe we've all been in a place in ministry where we kind of have just been like teaching random things or like whatever we felt quote unquote led to teach that week. And there's a time and a place for that. But overall, if we are like serious about actually teaching kids and teenagers the Bible and giving them a holistic view of who God is, we do need a strategy beyond just whatever feels right that week. And so a good teaching strategy is one that's going to help you decide which topics to teach, when to teach each topic, how often to repeat each topic, because you do need to repeat quite often with kids and teenagers, especially, and then also how to teach in a way that's actually engaging and effective for a kid or a teenager's stage of life and stage of development. So, all of those things are going to be what we talk about.
Yeah, and so some of the ways we do that is in kids ministry, we kind of break the year in half and we spend half of the year in the Old Testament and half
Mhm.
of the year in the New Testament. And so
Yes.
for kids, we like that idea because when these kids are like still learning the Bible stories, it's
Mhm.
really important to give them that foundation of like, hey, here's what's actually happening in the Bible, and here's like a pretty chronological view
Mhm.
of like how everything is happening because they don't know that stuff yet. Like
Yeah.
this is the right time to
And
kind of go
also,
through each of the testaments.
kids learn best through storytelling. Like they can remember a story. A story makes sense to them. Whereas when you get into youth ministry, you can be a little bit more abstract in your teaching. So that's where we would suggest doing a different approach rather than a chronological walk through scripture. Not saying that that's bad, but it's maybe not as necessary for a teenager as it is for a kid. You can take an approach that's a bit more topical. And I don't mean you only should teach topical series for teenagers. That's not what I mean. But just kind of thinking like, okay, what are the big important topics that a teenager needs to like learn about? So things like doubt, like that should be something that you probably want to talk about every single year because kids have doubts and they have questions. Friendship, what does it look like to have like godly friendships in ways that honor God and like respect others and like, help you make wise decisions. Things like wisdom, your family, like what are those things that teenagers are like, man, this is a struggle or like a pain point in my life, and I would love to know what God has to say about it. And so when you have that, you can do like book studies, you can do character studies, you can do topical studies, all sorts of things. But it's just about thinking about what those key topics are for teenagers and making sure that you're addressing them because they
Yep.
need it.
And it's totally fine to kinda do whatever strategy makes sense for you. Maybe
Mhm.
your big church, your adult church is going through a certain series and your pastor wants
Mhm.
the teenagers to go through it as well. Then, of course, you put that on the calendar and you
Yep.
map it all out. And so I just wanna jump real quick, before we continue and show you what it looks like on the
Mhm.
calendar. So this happens to be elementary series, but these series do, so we kinda pick one for each of the months, and we think about, okay, which uh discipleship, like which spiritual habit does this make sense under,
Mhm.
and why are we teaching this at what part of the year?
Yeah.
So like obviously we're going to teach a Christmas series around Christmas. So you see in December we've got Follow the Star, which is like a Christmas series, and
Mhm.
then we've got like an Easter series. Is it
That one's Clue.
Clue? Yeah, so
Mhm. It's
Clue
like solving the mystery of
was an
Easter.
Easter
It
series.
was so
And
fun.
then Elle, talk about some of these other series and
Mhm.
why we decided to teach them in the places that we did.
Mhm.
And specifically for kids, we
Yeah.
do go through a chronological way.
Mhm.
So tell us kind of how that looks like. Like half of this year
Yeah.
is Old Testament and half is New Testament,
Mhm.
right?
That's right. So we always do the New Testament from December through May. So if you're looking, you'll see Follow the Stars, our December series, and True Story is our May series. That's kind of like our New Testament unit, I guess you could say. And that's going chronologically through the New Testament, starting with Jesus' birth, going all the way through the early church. That's what that May series is about.
And it works out perfect because you've got like Christmas and then you've
Mhm.
got Easter and then you can talk about the early church
Yep.
and then
Then you
boom,
switch back to the Old
switch right
Testament.
back to the Old Testament. So you see that in June. We've
Mhm.
got in the beginning. So we're like starting in Genesis
Mhm.
and moving our way chronologically through the Old Testament.
Yeah, and the way that we do it for kids is it typically takes 2 to 3 years for us to get through the entire Bible. So just in this particular view, what you're seeing is that that June series in the beginning just happens to be when we finished the Old Testament and are starting a brand new cycle throughout it.
Yep, cool. All right, so let's go back here. So that's like when to teach and why we teach when. And then also, we're going to show you our student series as
Mhm.
well and kind of talk about our topics and
Yeah.
why we decided to do those. But before we do that, we're going to talk about creating engaging lessons. So part
Mhm.
of your teaching strategy is about what to teach and when to teach it. But when you get to the week to week basis, we talked about we're going to show you these ideas that we put into our lessons every single week that keeps a kid or a teenager's attention.
Mhm.
And this is what we're talking about. So the way that we do it, we have this like drag and drop lesson builder inside of Grow. You can do this yourself if you're
Mhm.
using like a Word doc or whatever you're using to build your lessons and think about, okay, every single week, what kind of elements are in my lesson? Am I using stories? Am I using images or videos? What kind of questions am I asking to kind of generate those kind of thoughts inside of
Mhm.
kids? Am I doing any object lessons or activities? Are there any discussion times during my lessons? Are we doing any time of prayer or reflection or response? Am I using music? Am I using polls? These are
Mhm.
just some of the elements that we put inside of a lesson when we build a
Mhm.
lesson here at Grow. But and the cool thing is it's color coded. We love a
We
color
love
code.
it.
So as you go through your lesson, if you color
Mhm.
code it this way, you can kind of see all the different colors. And if it's a variety of colors, you know, okay, I'm using a
Mhm.
variety of elements. This will be a more engaging lesson than if everything was just,
Mhm.
you know, talk, 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 Bible, Bible, talk, talk, talk.
Yeah.
And like there were no other elements in your lesson.
And it's not like you need to do all of these things in every lesson. That would be crazy. But what I would encourage you to do is maybe like if you have your notes from maybe your last like month or 2 months of lessons, go through and just do this color code. Like get a box of markers and just start marking stuff. And if you notice, oh, I've actually never opened the green marker, then maybe then you've been missing object lessons, or you've been missing images, and that's like a new element that you can add moving forward. Because in addition to just keeping kids engaged, the reality is that a lot of kids learn differently. Some kids need more like visuals to understand what it is that you're talking about. Some kids are just restless and they need like physical activities that allow them to get up and moving in order to like really keep their attention. So it's about making it interesting, but it's also about making sure every kid in the room is acknowledged and included in a way that makes sense to them and that actually helps them learn.
Yeah, and one thing that might be interesting and helpful is like every series. So if you know you have like a month-long series, try to get all of these elements throughout the course of the 4 weeks or the 5 weeks of like the month.
Yeah.
So yeah, just like a challenge for
Make it a fun
yourself.
game for yourself.
Yeah, and it's like something that makes you better as a
Mhm.
communicator.
Yes.
So it's helpful to your kids and it makes you better as a communicator. And so your skills get better and
Yeah.
you just become a more effective ministry leader that
Mhm.
way. So we talked about this is what it looks like for kids.
Mhm.
And then this is our student series for
Mhm.
one of the years that we have here at Grow. And so, Elle, we don't see this on the calendar in front of us, but
Mhm.
talk about like maybe some of these topics and why we would teach them at different
Mhm.
times during the year.
Yeah. So let's see. So Stick Together, that is an August series. We love to teach that one, or any series on friendship in August, because that's what this one is about. Because like we talked about, the spiritual habit of spending time with others is a great one to kick off the year with. So that's one that you can teach in the fall. We've got, let's see. Well, obviously we have the Christmas and Easter ones. More Life is the Easter one. Unexpected is Christmas. Made to Be is a good one. We recommend that one for January. I think we messed up our labels on here, our month labels, but that's okay. Made to Be was a January series, and we did that one during the quarter where we focused on using your gifts, because Made to Be is a series about identity. And so it's like inviting teenagers to figure out who God made them to be and what they can do with the gifts that God has given them. And it's also like a fun way to kick off a new year, I think, where it's like, hey, this year, like, let's challenge you to like figure out who God made you to be this year. It's like a fun kickoff. And then I also loved Unbelievable. That one we taught in the spring. I think it was right after Easter. Or right before, one of those two. It was like on one of the sides of Easter. And we loved having that bumping up to Easter, because, we spent in the Easter season, we spend a lot of time talking about faith and like the miraculous like resurrection of Jesus. But there's probably a lot of kids in your ministry who are experiencing doubts. Like, did that even happen? And like, why do I care? And so Unbelievable is a series about doubt that's just like helping engage those questions in a way that is respectful to teenagers. Like, hey, your questions aren't crazy. Like, you can ask them, and this is a safe place for you to talk about them. Even when we're here, like celebrating like the miracle of Easter, like your questions are still valid, and we can talk about that together.
Yep. So those are just some ideas to think about like, okay, what do I want to teach and when do I want to teach it? And so we talked about kids, we talked about students, we talked about what goes in a weekly lesson. And now let's move on to our environment strategy. So our environment strategy is the idea of like for every series that we do, we want to create an environment that kind of supports that series and that idea. So you want to make sure with your environment strategy that every kid and teenager feels welcome. We used to do fun things as they walked in the door. Like as kids were walking in the door, we were handing them things, whether it was like a
Noisemakers.
noisemaker or like we had special things. One time we gave all the kids a laser pointer, like
That
one
was
of
a
those
wild
like
day.
50-cent laser pointers off Amazon. We played games with the laser pointers and stuff, or candy or whatever it is, right? We did like a Coke versus Pepsi challenge as they walk through the door. And then we use that as an example for our series that we're teaching later that morning. So anyway, like think about what you can do to create a welcoming environment when kids and teenagers walk through your door. You want to make sure with your environment strategy that everybody can have fun. Sometimes we kind of don't think about fun enough as ministry leaders, but when you want kids to open up, when you want kids to actually have real conversations with you, it's a lot easier if they've had fun with you first. If you can actually relate to a kid, have fun with them, they will open up to you and they will respect you and they will trust you a lot more when it comes time to have those deeper conversations and those spiritual conversations. You want to make sure that everyone is physically safe in your environment.
Yeah, chubby
Make
bunnies out,
sure
guys. We're not playing that anymore.
can't like ignore the safety part because that's what parents are thinking about when they're
Yes.
dropping kids off in your environment. And that everyone can have an emotionally safe place to share and grow. So those are some of the key things that you want to think about
Mhm.
as like the foundation of your environment strategy.
Yeah, and this is a question about grow, but it ties into this slide right here. Jennifer is just wondering, do you give suggestions that match the series? And yes, this is what you see on the screen right now: room design and decor, fun and games, music, food, anything that helps a young person feel welcome, safe, and loved. Those are all things to take into account. So, like if you have a series theme, like we talked about Clue, the Easter series for kids, that was kind of like a spy theme or like a detective theme, I mean, then you can take that theme and think about what your room could look like, what kind of silly games you can play. Maybe there's like some like fun music and like sound effects you can do. Maybe there's funny little snacks that you can do that tie into your theme. So all of those things are ways to just make that theme come to life, just to make it more fun and more engaging for kids and let them know that you like them as kids and teenagers and you don't need them to learn like adults. 'Cause they're not.
Yes, and this is what it looks like on the calendar. So to that point, every single series that we have, we identify what the theme is. So timeless, the theme is time travel,
Mhm.
right? So we have the teaching card, and then right below it, we have the environment card. And so what you can start doing as a ministry leader is thinking, okay, how do I decorate my room for time travel? Are there any fun like activities we could do? Or like when they walk through the door, is there something we can create where they're like going through a time portal? Something, right? So you can start brainstorming ideas. And so all of these like see me now, the theme is illusions, top
Mhm.
secret, the theme is spies. And so what we recommend on your calendar is going through your entire year, identifying what your series are, what you're going to teach, and then identifying a fun theme that you can connect to that.
Mhm.
That will help you figure out how to do all the things we talked about: the music you're going to play, the room decor, all the activities you're going to do, everything that goes along with the series.
And there's like some questions Sean's asking, like, so what about rooms that are like shared spaces? Because you can't go all out. That like the thing that we believe with like decorating your rooms is like you don't have to go all out. Even if you do have your own dedicated space, sometimes you just don't have time to do something absolutely like crazy and over the top. So yes, if you are wondering about Grow, we do give you like a bunch of different ideas with like pictures and instructions that kind of cover the whole gamut from like something extreme to something super simple.
Yeah, and like also keep in mind the people that
Mhm.
have contributed to grow in like all of these strategies and ideas, they're coming from portable churches. They're
Yes.
coming from big
All over the
churches, small
place.
churches, churches that are setting up in auditoriums and
Mhm.
like a school, and then they have to tear down, or a movie theater and then they have to tear down. So yes, that's a great question.
Mhm.
And you have to just work with
Yeah.
what's available to
And
you.
I'd say like I think especially in children's ministry, sometimes I've said this to people before and they're like, "Wow, I actually didn't think about that." You don't have to do everything that is suggested to you. So like even on this like calendar, if you're like, "I can't do all this," please hear us say, "That's okay. You don't have to." You can customize and do the things that make sense for you and for your ministry and for your capacity, and that also includes how you decorate.
Yeah.
You don't have to, create a whole Disneyland experience for kids.
Exactly. I mean, try to do the things on the first slide here,
Yeah.
like make sure everyone feels
That's the
welcome
stuff
and
that
create a
matters.
place that has fun. And then when you get
Mhm.
to this stuff, this is like above and beyond. Like if you have the capacity and
Yeah.
the means or the budget to do some cool stuff,
Mhm.
then do it. But at the very least, you need to be
Yeah.
thinking about these
If
things.
all you can do is print one poster with the series graphic, do it. As
Yeah.
long as you are actively making a kid and a teenager feel welcome and loved and safe,
There's
that's what matters.
Hey, and like you church leaders out there that are working with like portable setups or
Mhm.
like, no budget, you are some of the most creative
Oh my
people.
goodness, it's
Like you
true.
could pull off some really memorable stuff that connects to the
Mhm.
theme of the series without spending a lot of money
Yeah.
and without putting a ton of energy into decorating.
Mhm.
But it could be like just one experience that like wasn't that hard to pull off,
Yeah.
and like you could be resourceful and make it happen. So that's what our environment strategy looks like. We showed you what it looks like on the calendar. Now let's talk about our event strategy. Elle,
Mhm.
take it away.
Okay, so guys, listen, we've been in the kind of ministry environment before that we for some reason convinced ourselves we have to do a zillion events every year. Like at one point, I think we were trying to do an event every month. And then we thought, what are we doing? This is crazy. We're spending so much money. We're spending so much time. Also, our volunteers are like tapped out. So, like, can you guys stop doing stuff? Like, I have a life actually. And then also, when you do so many events, it's like families are like, well, I'm not going to go because they'll just have another one next month. So it kind of like dilutes the power of your events, which is why it's so important to have an actual like strategy behind your events instead of just doing stuff. Because if you don't have one, it's really easy to waste time and resources. Been there. Overburden families with too many commitments. Yes. Burn out yourself and your team. Yes, again. And have so many events that they actually lose their effectiveness. So we don't want that for you. We don't want that for us. Here's the alternative. You need an event strategy that helps you decide which events are most important to do and why. That helps you decide when and how often to do an event, how to make every event that you do actually impactful for kids and teenagers and not just, taking up time. And then also how to plan each event effectively and resourcefully. We love resourcefulness. That is actually a value over here at Stuff You Can Use. We talk about it all the time because, guys, we don't have unlimited money and funds and time and people and ministry. We have to be resourceful. And so our whole philosophy, especially when it comes to events, is like, do as little as you can to make the biggest impact. Like, keep it simple and do less so that you can accomplish more.
Yeah, so we showed you ideas for kids' discipleship activities. So we're going to show you ideas for student events. And so here's how we did it. We break our events just like our discipleship activities, one per quarter. You don't need to go overboard. And we have different kinds of an event for each quarter. Elle, do you want to talk about like what kind of an event we do for student ministry in each quarter?
Sure. So I think we messed up the order of these images too, but that's fine. Just go with me, guys. It'll be fine. So every fall, we love doing an all-nighter. So you'll see the all-nighter is actually under the spring section. Just pretend it's over there instead. We love doing an all-nighter in the fall because it is like we've talked about a million times. It's when we talk about helping teenagers build relationships. And so an all-nighter is just like a fun way to kick off the year. It's like high energy. It's like silly. It's all that stuff. So the Great Escape was an all-nighter we did that has like an escape room theme. So lots of like puzzles and like just like fun things, like missions you have to solve. Then in the winter, we often like to do something Christmas themed. You don't necessarily have to, but the point in the winter for us is like, just do something fun. Like, don't overthink it. Just do something fun for teenagers and for kids and maybe for their whole family that lets them like make some memories together. So this one is the This or That Christmas Party. And this one was funny. It was like you let students pick which thing they're going to do. So you like put it up on the screen. And it's like, would you rather do this or would you rather do that? And then they all vote. And like, that's the activity that you do next. So it's a fun little interactive event. Then in the spring, we always recommend doing a retreat of some kind because remember, this is the quarter when you're spending, you're focusing on spending time with God. So we don't want to do just another random just for fun event here. We actually want to kind of focus in and do something a bit more strategic. So Just Like You was an event that we did that was like the teaching theme for that retreat. And it was just a time like a 2 to 3 day retreat where you can just give some like targeted teaching for teenagers that helps them go a little bit deeper in their faith. And then the summer is another great time to just do something just for fun. So the Dodgeball Dance Party is a really fun summer event that you can do. Honestly, it's a good year-round event. You could do it outside, you could do it inside, but it's just a silly event.
Yes.
Just play some dodgeball, dance to some silly songs.
And the cool thing about putting this up on a board is you can change where everything goes. So,
so when you put the wrong slides up in the wrong place, you can just move them.
So let's just say you want to do the dance party in the fall.
Yeah.
That's totally cool. And hey, it's completely up to you. You can do these events whenever you want. That's kind of the ideas of how we did, like how we came up with when to do them. And you can see here are some events on a calendar. We've got one per quarter. And then in the summer, we have a VBS on there as well. So we've got like our summer event and a VBS.
And for students, you might want to add a summer camp and you might want to add a mission experience.
Yeah. So take these ideas, run with them, figure out what events you want to do, when you want to do them, and just know you don't have to do so many.
No.
One a quarter or less. Do 2 a year if you want to do 2 a year. If that's what you want to do.
Of exactly. These expectations.
So that's what our event strategy looks like. Now we're going to talk about grown-ups. I know So we've already been together for almost an hour. So there's a lot to unpack here with volunteers and families. We're gonna try to go through it, and then we have a special offer for you guys before you leave. So let's talk about grown-ups,
Yeah.
volunteers, and parents. And our volunteer strategy and our family strategy are pretty similar. To like be resourceful, we try to do the same things for both so that we're not going crazy with doing a million
much
different
stuff.
things. Yeah. So Elle, tell us about our volunteer strategy.
Yeah, so you really do need a volunteer strategy, one that's going to help you recruit and onboard the volunteers that you need, one that's going to help you train and equip and care for the volunteers that you already have, that's going to help you retain the volunteers you want to keep. And our language here is very deliberate because you shouldn't probably keep every volunteer because some people maybe just shouldn't serve in kids or youth ministry. So you got to be able to know which ones you want to keep and which ones you need to like maybe move to the parking lot ministry. You know what I mean? And then the last thing is your volunteer strategy should help you create a culture where volunteers actually love to serve. That's how you're going to retain them.
Yes. And then for our family strategy, you want a family strategy that helps you better build trust and buy-in with parents and caregivers. That's so important to have that trust connection. You're going to need a strategy to help train and care for the parents of kids and teenagers, to empower parents to disciple their kids at home. We can't be the only source of their spiritual discipleship or growth.
Yep.
We have to empower parents to do it and carry that torch at home. And we have to be able to create a culture where families feel supported. So we've actually identified 7 ways that we can invest in volunteers and invest in families. And they're the same 7 things for each. So you don't have to go crazy, like we said, doing so many different things. You can kind of do the same things for each set of adults that you're trying to minister to.
Yes. And I'm going to run through them. If you do want a deeper dive on these things, you can actually check out our podcast. We have one called Kids Ministry Answers and one called Youth Ministry Answers. And we've got episodes where we do like deep dives on both of these strategies. But the quick overview here, 7 tactics to invest in both of these groups of grownups. Events. For volunteers, just one a year. One kickoff event to cast vision at the beginning of the school year. For families, maybe do a few more of those that like either help parents connect with their kids during like a family event or help a parent connect with your ministry or with their kid's leader. Like a small group leader and parent breakfast is one that we really love that really like transformed our ministry in some pretty significant ways. But also think things like open house, move up day, a parent workshop, something that like gets parents together and learning something together, stuff like that. Big events. Next up is meetings. For volunteers, we typically recommend thinking like every other month as a way to get your whole team together. Some people like to do the every single week like huddle before service, which is also a great way to do it. The point though is just that you have a regular time on your calendar where you're asking all of your volunteers to get together for some kind of training. And then for families, guys, parent meetings can be a real drag for both us and for parents, honestly. But sometimes you do need to have them. So those parent meetings, you can think about them like maybe if there's a big ministry transition that you're going through, or maybe before a big event of some kind. But just kind of save those parent meetings for like times when you really need them, where you can't email them the information. Discussion groups, think of them kind of like focus groups. This is where you get a group of volunteers together to help them like troubleshoot problems together, just kind of brainstorm ideas. And then for families, same thing, get some parents together to just share their experiences as parents of kids or parents of teenagers so that you can learn from them and figure out how your ministry can better serve them. Then you've got conversations. Those are one-on-one conversations. With your volunteers, those are things like check-ins to make sure that they're going well, to kind of give and receive feedback. But it also could be like troubleshooting. If there's like an issue you need to talk with them about. Same with families. Like sometimes their kid is maybe having behavioral issues. You need to schedule a one-on-one time with their parents. Those are like hard conversations to have, which is why you need a strategy and a plan in advance. So we kind of drafted up, just as one example, like a list of questions for the common kind of like the common types of conversations we would need to have with both volunteers and families, and have that ready so that when those moments pop up, we are prepared. Then you've got communication. Those are the emails that you send. Those are the things you post on social media. Whatever like you're doing with like, bulletin announcements, just anything that's like informational communication. This is a boring one, guys. I know it's boring to send emails, but what is so important here is that if you want volunteers who love to serve and you want parents who truly trust you, regular consistent communication matters so much. These adults need to know that you are reliable and that you are making that first step to communicate with them. Then you've got tools. These are just anything you give them that helps make their job easier. So it could be like a volunteer handbook for your volunteer team. It could be like a helpful book recommendation that you give to parents, just something that is going to help them in their role. And then the last one is celebration. You do need to celebrate your team regularly. And, we don't often think about celebrating parents, I don't think, but I think we should, because parents are going through it. Like, it's hard to raise a kid or a teenager. And probably if you think about like the other institutions that their kid is a part of, whether it's school or a sports team or whatever, they mostly are going to hear from authority figures when their kid's in trouble. But we as a church could kind of subvert that and be like, hey, I'm going to celebrate you actually for being a good parent instead of telling you that your kid is like ruining everything. That's a nice thing. So think about how you can celebrate both parents and volunteers on a regular basis.
Yes, thank you, Elle, for walking through all 7 of those.
You're welcome.
And this is what it looks like on a calendar. So we put all of our volunteer cards, and don't let this overwhelm you. When we're talking about doing meetings, we like to do meetings every other month. When we're talking about doing one-on-one conversations, that might be one-on-one conversation a month or one a week, whatever you have capacity for.
Yeah, but we put it on the calendar so we don't forget about it.
Yeah, when we're talking about celebrations, we have like the way we like to do our celebrations is like dream up like fun things to do around weird holidays.
Yeah.
And then we pick one weird holiday every month and
Like
put it on the
paper
calendar.
airplane day.
Yeah,
How do you
exactly.
turn that into a volunteer celebration?
So
It's fun.
there's so many ideas. If you take each of these things, you can kind of as a team think about what you want to do each month in each of these areas. So those are our volunteer cards on the calendar, and then we add our family cards, and you have a complete year. So this is what a complete year looks like of planning out your entire ministry. And you'll see like we've got our monthly emails and social media for families every single month. So hopefully this stuff won't be overwhelming. And like Elle said earlier, pick and choose what you want to do. You don't have to do it all. But okay, maybe you're thinking, wow, that's a lot of stuff. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make all of this on my own. And we have good news for you. If you don't want to sit down and make each and every single one of these resources yourself, we have already made them for you.
We did it, guys.
And actually, we didn't just make them for 1 year. Oh yeah, these are some of our volunteer things. We made them for every single year that the kid goes through your ministry.
Kid's whole life.
Yeah, so we have preschool lessons and resources. We have elementary lessons and resources, and we have middle school and high school lessons and resources. So this is a little map that we made that shows you like as a kid in your ministry goes through the journey of being like a toddler all the way through high school graduation, we have already created all of the content, and we just don't leave it. We actually update it on a regular basis so that we can, update it with new cultural references, or if we find things we want to change or improve or new features, we can add them.
Or Marvel released a new movie. We got to update our superhero series.
Yeah. So this is what Grow is all about. So if you want to go over to the Grow website, if you're interested in buying Grow, you can kind of see all the different series that we have for whatever age group. So if you work with preschool, you can kind of check out what it looks like for a preschooler. If you work with students, you can check out what it looks like when you're working with students. And we walk through all the different parts of our strategy here. You can see our scope and sequence for that age group. We just looked at this. We actually include videos for every single week of our teaching. So whether they're in preschool, elementary, or in student ministry, they're getting weekly videos with the curriculum.
Charge extra.
No
I
extra
hate
charge
that.
for that. And here's what you need to know and what I'm going to do. Yep, these are all closed. Amazing. So this is, if you want everything we just talked about pre-done for you, you can subscribe to Grow for under $1,000 a year. When you think about how much money it takes to run a ministry,
Mm-hmm.
paying the people to do all of this stuff, like to actually write the teaching. If you were going to hire out video editors, if you were going to hire out people to help you research and write, if you were going to help or hire people to help you brainstorm your environments and put together discipleship activities and events and stuff for your families and for volunteers. And also, we have games for every single week. We actually have hundreds of games available, and we have music. You saw some of the music if you were here when we were leading up to this event, but we have plenty of music and videos as well.
Mm-hmm.
All of that for under $1,000. We can get it in your hands. And if you want to break that up into 4 different payments, you can do that with Klarna. So for only $249, you can start with Grow today. And like we talk about right here, you get everything. So it's not dripped out to you month to month.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, if you subscribe today, you get everything you need for the entire year.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to mention this too. You might be thinking, I have no budget. We already talked about this. There's no budget in my ministry.
Mm-hmm.
You can come down here and apply for a scholarship. We
Mm-hmm.
will
Please
work
do.
with any church's budget. So what we like to say here at Grow is money will never be the thing that stops a church from using Grow. You might not want to use it. You might pick a different curriculum, and that's totally up to you, but it won't be because of money.
Yes.
If you apply for a scholarship, we will work with you and you let us know what your curriculum budget is, and we'll make it fit.
Yes. And some people are leaving questions for us, but just a reminder, if you have questions, leave them in the chat. We are literally reading them and we will answer them.
Yep. So we're going to answer all your questions right now. And so basically just wanted to let you guys know this is what it's like. And then I have one more slide for you. Wait, I took it out. Never mind. I
You
don't have one
silly
slide for you,
goose.
but I do have this. So I did want to share some people's experiences with Grow. We have a lot of these. I was kind of looking at all the testimonials today, and I like these two because these are one from student ministry and one from kids
Oh my
ministry.
goodness, Holly's using all caps.
Yeah. So
I haven't seen this before.
Holly says, as someone who has been in youth ministry for 16 years, I've seen a lot of curriculum, and this is hands down the best one out there.
Stop, that makes
So
me cry.
thank you to Holly for the kind words. And then Abby says, we are on our 4th year with Grow Kids and 2nd year with Grow Students. We love, love, love Grow and the people who help us understand how to use this curriculum effectively. When I have a question or an issue, I receive a response almost immediately. And I
Our
wanted
customer success team
to
is
mention
awesome.
that, yeah, we are so available to you guys. We have multiple ways to get in touch. You can email us. You can reply to any of the emails we send. We have this little chat here that's always available, that people, like live people, are available to talk to you. And we have this little section here. You can schedule a Zoom call with our team.
Yeah.
So if you ever have any questions, if you want a one-on-one conversation with someone from our team, like this was like a group experience, like a webinar, you really couldn't talk to us. We're going to answer your questions here. We're going to stay and answer whatever questions you left in the chat. But if you ever wanted to set up a one-on-one Zoom call with someone from our team, we are always available. You can do that right now and schedule.
And by the way, like some people think like you're only allowed to schedule a call with us if you like want to talk about Grow, but you can also just call us if you're like, I need help.
Yeah.
Help. Because like our team are actual church leaders. They're not like random people. Who
We did
just
not
here to talk to you about-
outsource the call center in like
No,
another country.
we did not.
These are literal church leaders who use
Yes.
Grow, who are now a part of our team as like part-time people who help
Mhm.
church leaders like you answer questions and figure out, how do I use Grow most effectively in my ministry? Or like Al just said, I just need ideas. I just
Mhm.
watched this webinar. There's a million different things running through my head now. I don't know how to break these down into ideas. I don't really want to buy anything. I don't have any
Mhm.
money. So how do I do this? We can walk
Just
you
come
through
yap
that as
with
well.
us.
Exactly.
We got you.
But so anyway, this is what you get. And then also we have an option that's teaching only for $697 a year. That's not the best one. Like this is the most popular for sure. But of course you can do the teaching only. You get all of the teaching series for the year, all of the environments for the year, but you don't get the discipleship activities. You don't get the events. You don't get the family resources. You don't get the volunteer resources. You don't get all of the games, and you don't get all of the music. So all of that isn't included in this one. And you can start today for under $250 if you want to get rolling. So anyway, that is what we have for Grow.
Question
Now
time?
let's answer some of the questions. Yeah, hit
Okay.
us up. Elle.
Okay, I don't actually know this person's name. I was thinking Dean Thomas, but that's just because that's a Harry Potter character. But all I see is D.D. Thomas, so I don't know who that is. But hello, D.D. Thomas. He wants to know, is there a way to preview the videos? Sure are.
Yes, you can preview the videos right here. Like basically we have one of the videos here for each age group. So depending on what
If
age
you
group
play it,
you
is it
work
going to be
with,
loud?
I don't know what's gonna happen. So actually the volume is not coming through,
Okay.
probably
Well,
because of the
that's
presentation.
probably good.
But so you can see this is what it looks like for students. So we have like a student video, and for students, we include what we call 1-minute sermons. So these are things you can put on social media, you can send out. Actually, yeah, it is. If I turn up the volume, it is
Mhm.
there. But so anyway,
They're kind of like mini versions of the full lessons. And so people use them in a lot of different ways. Sometimes they play them in the service. Sometimes they send them up as send them as follow-ups afterwards, but that's what students is. We also
yeah.
give you the scripts. So if you want to film it yourself, which a lot of people do, you can.
And so what we have for elementary is
Oh
a
my
much
God.
longer experience. So these are not 1-minute videos. These are, I think they're like closer to
Maybe like
like,
8.
yeah,
Yeah.
like 7, 8 minutes. And so we have really cool interactive hosts. They're amazing.
They're so
And they
cute.
go through and do like really cool stuff. So we, obviously we've got all sorts of fun like clips and ways to make it engaging for elementary kids.
And in our kids ministry lessons for both preschool and elementary, it'll kind of cue you of like when we suggest playing the video during your large group teaching. Obviously, you can edit, move things around, but you'll get a little cue if you want it.
Whoa, I don't know what just happened. I hit
Uh-oh.
preschool and the whole thing blew up.
Oops.
Let's reload this
Reload. Yeah, they
tab.
got to see Callie. Guys, our little puppet friend, Callie, is so cute, and I hope you love her because we love her.
Yeah, and so this is what the preschool videos look like. I will
Her little voice. Look at
There's
her.
Callie. So we've got really cool videos for each age group. They're age appropriate, they're fun and engaging.
Mhm,
And let's see. Yeah, so you can see, the puppets interacting with the people.
mhm,
So cool. We have such a great team who produces our videos. We've got
mhm.
people that are writing every single week of our videos that are full-time on our team. And then we have a production company that we work with that produces all of our videos. So shout out to all the people
Woohoo.
making everything, all of our music, all of our videos. We just have such a talented
I
and incredible
know.
crew.
I
So
loved him so much.
if you need more of a preview than what's on the website, feel free to hit us up in the
You can also
chat.
get a whole free series
Yes, that's right. So if you go try for
for
free,
all age groups.
you can basically click on whatever age group you work with, download the entire series for free, and it has all of the videos for that
Mhm.
series.
Yeah.
So you'll see all of the stuff that we have here
And we
on the
just
Try for
updated all of
Free
these
page.
this year, I believe. So
Yeah.
they're brand spanking new for you.
Nice.
Ready for the next question?
Let's do it.
Okay, Sean wants to know, do elementary and preschool lessons teach the same lesson or are they different? So they do teach the same lesson, but in totally different ways. So our curriculum is different because we believe that preschoolers and elementary kids like learn in very different ways. So they're completely separate lessons, but they cover the same Bible story and they have the same big idea and the same memory verse. But the way that we teach those things is going to be different. So that's why when you go to even just that free series that Kenny was just showing you, there's blast off for preschool and blast off for elementary. And you'll see how they like line up really nicely, but are taught in completely different and age appropriate ways.
Yeah, and so even the graphics are different.
Mhm.
So they're taught in age appropriate ways. And so we've got our preschool blast off graphic here, and we've got our elementary blast off graphic here. So, same thing, same idea, same theme, but age appropriate
Yeah.
teaching.
Then we've got, let's see, Renee is wondering, what about small ministries with combined ages? Love this question, Renee. So we just talked about how preschool and elementary align. With what we haven't talked about is that within those curriculums, we actually kind of like break it up for you a little bit more to help both with big ministries and small combined ministries. So in elementary, we do have what we call hacks. So we have like hacks for preteens, as well as hacks for kids with disabilities. And in preschool, we have hacks for toddlers. And so those kind of like differences are ways that you can teach the same lesson, but just like age them up slightly or age them down slightly for whichever age group that you're working with. And we do that because we know most churches do not have the bandwidth or the capacity or the people to plan completely different experiences for every age group. Same thing in youth ministry. So we don't have a separate middle school and high school curriculum. What we do instead is we have middle school hacks, high school hacks, and again, hacks for kids with disabilities to just help you like customize that like 10% of the lesson for the particular age group that you're working with. So for youth ministry, you shouldn't really need to be planning two completely different lessons for middle school and high school unless it's something you really want to do. You can plan the same one and just know, like, if you're talking to a middle schooler, we give you tips of like, hey, they might struggle to understand this concept, so here's a way to like help a middle schooler understand it a little bit better. Or for high schoolers, if you're even in a small group of mixed ages and you're like, okay, this subject might have this particular application point for a high schooler that would be different from a middle schooler, you can look at that particular high schooler and give them that particular kind of like aged up idea for them, just to kind of help you not like burn yourself out doing completely different things, but just, you know, making little tweaks to reach each kid that you have.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned we have preteen hacks in
Yes.
our student ministry one, and we have like middle school specific questions for like small groups.
Yes.
So if you break into small groups, we have different questions that you can ask for middle school students.
They're actually like, it's just more of like a simplified version. So we kind of take out the hard questions that we think a middle schooler would be like, what? And just give you the simpler version.
Yeah.
But we're very big on like, guys, we've talked about this. You don't have to stress yourself out in ministry by doing so much. If you are strategic and you plan ahead, you can make your life simple while still like being extremely effective in what you do. Let's see. Let me see if there's any other one.
So
go
someone asked about, do you offer
ProPresenter.
ProPresenter templates or files? So what we do include, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to scroll down here to teaching. So we provide
Look at all those things.
lots of things. We just put this list up, so Elle hasn't even seen this
I'm
yet.
like,
But
did I approve this list?
so we include editable series graphics. So we have the title graphics already pre-done that you can just throw into ProPresenter really easy. We have background graphics if you want to add your own text over the top in ProPresenter. So I use ProPresenter as a ministry leader. So that's what we were thinking about, people who use something similar to ProPresenter, what would be easy for them. So we give you the editable series graphics, and all of this is editable in Photoshop. So if you or someone on your team knows how to use Photoshop, there's also free software that can edit Photoshop documents. You can change the name of the series. You can change the memory verse. We also provide memory verse graphics. We provide lower thirds. So if you want to put that into ProPresenter and your own stuff with the lower thirds with the series graphic stuff on it, the big idea graphics, and we provide you style guides that show you like the different fonts that we use, the color palettes that we use. So if you want to create your own additional stuff, you have all of the information. Yep. So all of that stuff is in there.
Also the videos. Mention those because those go into ProPresenter too.
Yep. So the videos, you can drop those. So we have like
bumper
videos. We've got countdown videos. We've got
actual teaching videos.
The teaching videos and the memory verse videos, which use
Those
sign
are just
language.
for kids, not for
Yeah.
But yes.
Yep. So anyway, all of it is easily put into ProPresenter. And if you don't use ProPresenter, we actually have our own cloud-based presentation software called Grow Slides, where everything is preloaded. So you can just literally pull up the week. All of the stuff we just listed is already there, and you can add and customize whatever you want your slideshow to be, and you can play it on any smart TV. So we actually have an app, the Grow Slides app. You just download that on your TV, type in your little code, and your content will be displayed on your TV.
You know what we didn't mention too is that in Grow Slides, we also include for kids ministry Bible story illustrations. So those come pre-built in there for you. And I mean, either way, even if you don't use Grow Slides, we give you the graphics for that. But they're so cute, just like little illustrations that help you tell the Bible story.
Yep. So feel free if you're interested in like seeing everything, and maybe this isn't completely everything. Like obviously you've got the try for free, you can download stuff and see, but you can open these up and see like, okay, what's actually included in environments
Yeah.
like room designs and Pinterest boards and
Mhm.
decoration ideas, craft ideas, giveaway ideas, snacks and stuff, right? So we've got all that stuff in there. Um, when you go to discipleship, again, it tells you all the stuff that we have in there. So anyway, go through, look at this list, see all the different stuff that we have if you're curious. But yes, we do have things that you can easily just throw into ProPresenter.
This is an older question we kind of already talked about, but do you have suggestions for theming rooms that are shared spaces? So we also give you some different like printable things and also just like digital things that you can put on your TV screens that are like an easy way to decorate and like bring the theme to life. So for every series, we give you like a poster that you can print. I think we might give you 2 different posters. I don't remember. And then those countdown videos and bumper videos, those are things that you can use as a decorating tool. So if you've got like screens out in like your space anywhere, just like throw that stuff up there and let it just play. And that's a totally free way to decorate your space. And actually, you want to talk about, well, yeah, because you just use Grow Slides for all of that. Right?
Yeah, for what?
For like what am I trying to say? That any of the TVs that you have, you can kind of like
Yeah.
make them up.
So the cool thing about Grow Slides, and so if you subscribe to Grow, you have free access to Grow Slides, is it allows you to put unlimited amount of presentations on unlimited amount of screens. So some churches are actually using it for their cafe and putting their menu on their cafe or in their atrium or their foyer for an announcement slide. So you can build all of this in your one Grow Slides account. You basically can connect all your different what we call feeds to your TV, and you can use that feed in multiple TVs. You can create a preschool room, an elementary room, a high school room. You can do by individual grades. Literally, you have unlimited options. So you can build out as many different slideshows as you want and send them to every TV in your church or whatever building.
And all of those like tools that we've talked about and some we haven't even talked about, like the Grow Lesson Builder and stuff, all of those things are included in an annual subscription to Grow. So you just get access to that stuff. And the tools are so cool. I love them. Do you want to talk about Lesson Builder at all?
We can talk more about
been
Lesson
yapping.
Builder. Yeah, exactly. It's already an hour and 20 minutes almost into this. Guys, if you have any questions, hit us up. There's also tutorials on our website. You can learn all about the other tools that we have, the other stuff that's in our website or in our curriculum. Like I said, chat is always available. Please talk to us if you want any additional information.
yapping.
Set up a Zoom call with our team. And again, if money is an issue, please apply for a scholarship. We want to get Grow in your hands no matter what your budget is.
Yes,
So
please.
I hope this was helpful. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. And we will see you later.
Woo! Bye, buddy.
Peace.